Starman here. I want you to take a good look at the DHV Magellan. Her main cannons are operational, and it's all thanks to you. Contact us whenever you require fire support, and we'll be sure to oblige.
Did you take a look at that post from the Southern Environmental Observatory on the SSS? It seems ghost mechs are active in their local region, and the tar currents there are still in a rather chaotic state. This is Higgs' doing, all in service to a greater plan. We shouldn't underestimate him either, Sam. Let's take care on our way to Hartman's lab.
Commencing route creation. Delivery route finalized. Disengaging weapons restrictions.
Take care, Sam. I sincerely hope you understand, Sam. Fragile never stopped thinking about how all of this was affecting you. Whenever you weren't around or were asleep, Fragile approached me to see how you were holding up under the strain. She wanted to know how often you talked to Lou in the pond, how much everything weighed on your mind, if you ever thought about what happened. She had faith that you would one day come to accept the reality of your situation. It wasn't just for your sake. Fragile needed you too. Anyway, we've got a long road ahead of us. Let's get a move on. See, we're outside chiral network coverage. If we come across any cargo marked for people living in this region, delivering it might make them more amenable to getting connected. rising, Sam. We mustn't underestimate the potential risks.
patched up?
Come to think of it, Pierre Southern of South Fort Knott, was it? To think his mentor was instrumental to the development of the DHV Magellan's propulsion systems. One could go so far as to say that he's one of our vessel's many fathers. So, operations at the Eastern Environmental Observatory are managed by just one man, all alone in the mountains. Must be terribly stressful. To survive in such extreme conditions, you cannot afford to let despair take root in your heart. Hope is an indispensable asset. Not to downplay the benefits of the cargo you brought, but the truth of the matter is that it won't make a difference for him that quickly. But what no doubt served to give him immediate comfort was the presence of a helpful soul. You, Sam. Porters can be bearers of light for those struggling in darkness. You'll not soon forget what you've done, nor the warmth that filled him. Pizza do karate. Huh. Maybe I should give it a try too. It'd be great if someone could show me how it's done. Maybe I could learn through VR training? Maybe we could call it Taekwondo. Really, Sam? Wow.
Once again, Sam, I'm sorry we couldn't bring you straight here on the DHV Magellan. That was one hell of a trip, and you must be absolutely knackered. Be sure to take as long as you need to rest before tackling more work, all right? For my part, I'll have a crack at assessing several potential... We can discuss them when we take a look at the map later on. As for the cargo, I'll let Charlie tell you all about it.
Sam, this is Charlie. Network infrastructure between the Southern Environmental Observatory and Terminal Fort Knott has been disabled for reasons unknown, though we strongly suspect Ghostmech's sabotage is to blame. To address this, we've decided to reroute network traffic through the F7 North Distribution Center. However, the distance is too great for us to establish a direct connection at this time. That being the case, we'll need to utilize the way stations situated between the two sites. The device required to activate them is stored at this facility. Collect it before embarking on your journey to the distribution center. You know what to do, Sam. We'll rendezvous on site later.
I appreciate you coming at night. Taking a look at the orders now. You have brought me a fine-looking delivery. It's... With your support, my research has advanced leaps and bounds. I am increasing the amount...
Now displaying your current quarters.
I say I did this, but I only managed to do so because of your considerable assistance. I'd like to pursue this line of research a bit more, I think. By the way, how is Hartman's health? You might not be aware of this, but he was helping me with my hydrology research. We were partners, you could say. Research associates, that is. When he returned from his brief visit to the beach, his body retained trace amounts of water. It was these samples that I used to carry out my research. But I understood that the trips had begun to take a toll. So I can't help but worry still. Look after him for me. Hartman and I both belong to a community of people dealing with 21-minute syndromes. The 21-Minute Anxiety Association. I first met him at one of our meetings. Naturally, these meetings only run for 20 minutes, so we got to know each other better by exchanging mails afterwards. We conversed at length about our shared struggles and grew closer through our joint research activities. I hope I can call on you again. Please, tell our friend I say hello.
Order completed. Well done.
Listen up, Sam. The F7 North Distribution Center is a long ways away. And by my reckoning, there's a number of different viable routes. The shortest, most direct path would involve you cutting through the snowy mountains. A dangerous proposition to say the least. You might find zip lines, ladders, and other structures en route to make your life a little easier. But without those conveniences, you'll need to make that deadly trek the hard way. If you're still keen, make sure you pack all the mountain climbing essentials and then some. Alternatively, you could forego the mountain route and circle round to take advantage of the roads to the east. Though if they're still in disrepair, or there aren't any bridges or other structures available, you'll need to come prepared to put in some work. Finally, heading west around the mountains would mean retracing your steps and going back the way you came. A fair few porters have already made use of that route since you paved the way. I imagine you'll find it easier going than the first time through. That route will also bring you close to the monorail. Get it up and running, and you can catch a ride too. Ultimately though, the route you take and the methods you... So take a moment to weigh your options.
Commencing route creation. Delivery route finalized. Commencing route creation.
a shadow of a man shaped just like me. My curiosity keeps me confused. But still I stand here on my own. And my spirit. Because I never said no or put up a fight. And I'm emotionally impaired. When I look at you,
Trouble nearby.
in the middle of a dull, weightless street.
So that's the place, huh?
Stands a shadow of a man shaped.
Good day, Sam. Drawbridge credentials verified. Welcome, Sam.
Security measures lifted. Weapons detected. Be advised that usage is restricted inside facility grounds.
This is the delivery terminal to process your orders and... No anomalies detected. Welcome, Sam.
I am guessing you're Sam, right? You've come a very long way just to make this delivery. I should only need a moment to inspect the cargo. Incredible! I've never seen such good-looking cargo. I've been looking forward to seeing you. Okay.
Looks like we're finally on the chiral network. I really respect what you Drawbridge folks have been doing. Being a part of it all is such a great honor. The situation here was pretty dire, but deep down, I just knew that with your help, we'd get through it. It broke my heart when the Earth opened up and swallowed Cardinal Fort Knott. Ever since that day, the tar currents and chiral fields have only grown more unstable. I doubt these anomalies will get any better until you finish linking up the continent. But only a bit further to go, right? I'm sure we can finish strong. I just hope all the ghost mechs sighted in this region lately won't slow you down. They're with Higgs, right? He has everyone worried. So, to better prepare you for whatever he has planned, I've shared data for a quadruple rocket launcher. Don't hesitate to use it to keep yourself safe. Once upon a time, I had aspirations of joining Fragile Express. Wanted to work alongside the living legend herself. Help her to reconnect the world, one delivery at a time. But circumstances often dictate the course of our lives. Regardless of who I work for, I'd like to try and support Fragile's mission. Do what I can to unite the people in the same way she has. Yeah. The ground beneath it became incredibly unstable. Possibly due to the craziness with the tar currents. With the city gone, an alternate route for chiral network expansion had to be devised. The plan was to extend the network from the Southern Environmental Observatory to Terminal Fort Knott, the But I'm confident that the network stabilizer you brought is just the thing we need to deal with this latest complication. We'll do what we can to provide support. Thank you again. So you know, we intend to continue research and development of powerful technologies. We'll give it everything we've got, but with our limited number of staff, and we'd appreciate any help you can provide as well. I wish you...
Sam, the tar current's behaving strangely again. We're unable to rendezvous with you just yet. The conditions are similar to when we observed that tarfall phenomenon before. I strongly urge you to proceed with caution.
Order completed.
This is Neil's doing, Sam. I'm sure we'll find him waiting for you beyond the tarfall. You need to confront him one last time. There's still so much we don't know about what happened 11 years ago. The nature of his relationship with Lucy, the baby that she was carrying at the time, and Lou, who was apparently born back then too. We need to see how all these pieces fit together if we're ever going to find the whole truth. So meet with Neil Vanna and settle things once and for all.